The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 202. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. Well, hello, friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have a phenomenal lady on today. She is the owner of Organic Shimmer, and which is a very successful salon. She already has 3 successful ones. She's actually just opened a 4th one, and I'm just really honored to have her on and share her story with us today. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Christina Lee. Christina, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to our listeners.
Hi, Sheena. How are you? Thanks for having me. Yeah, so pretty much in a nutshell, I own 3 organic airbrush tanning salons, 2 in San Francisco, and we just opened our 3rd one in LA about 3 months ago. So now I'm just splitting my time between the 2 cities.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And Christina, what's your cultural background?
I am Asian American. My family originated from Hong Kong.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And, what would be your favorite self-confidence quote?
I've always loved this one quote by Queen Elizabeth I. It's, "I would rather be a beggar and single than queen and married." So I don't know if that's necessarily a self-confidence quote, but it does speak to me as, reminds me to be self-sufficient and independent as a woman in this world today.
I love it, and I think it does go well with self-confidence, especially for Asian women culture. We've been told all our lives to live a certain way, or
Right.
the one thing in our life, or the main goal in our life, is to get married. And there's more to life than just getting married. Not that it's a bad thing, but when you go to countries in like China, they've been brainwashing women to just get married,
Right.
and that's the only
Right.
goal. So I think this quote is great because we can show women out there that you can also be independent, do what you want, and be able to live life on your own. So great quote. Thanks for sharing that. And in your own words, how would you define self-confidence?
Well, self-confidence to me really means you shouldn't really care what other people think. You should know exactly who you are, recognize your strengths and your weaknesses, and you constantly improve yourself. There's a lot of people out there that, think they're the best or they can do no wrong. I think self-confidence means accepting yourself and recognizing your weaknesses and knowing how to improve yourself upon it, and be willing to learn from others as well as teaching others who are willing to learn from you.
I totally agree. I remember being in school, and the teacher always told me, you'll never stop learning until the day you die. Every day you're always learning something new. And it's so true, right? Whether it's something from the computer or just, talking to somebody, you're always constantly learning, and, learn to accept it, learn to, see what good can come out of it. So great definition. And Christina, what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
Well, I was constantly worried about what people were thinking about me. I didn't speak up as much because I didn't want to say something quote unquote stupid, or say or do something where others view as not so popular. It was just like how everybody growing up as a kid would be just insecure about who they are coming into who you are today. So that was a big hurdle in my life, just trying to get over, worrying about what others thought of me.
Thanks for sharing that. And I think, we're all guilty of that, right?
Yeah.
Being worried about what others think because, especially with the media and then our families and our cultures, it's so ingrained for us to always watch our step, make sure we don't, step on anyone's toes, or we don't say the wrong thing. And you know what? I remember just learning that you can't please everyone. And I think that's what we have to start telling people. You can't please everyone, and that's okay, right? Because the right people are going to come into your life. And what was that point in your life when you realized, you didn't always have to be worried about what others think? What was that aha moment when you realized that, you can be the person who you are today?
Well, not to sound corny or anything, but I realized that after I broke up with my boyfriend of many years, when I was about 20 years old, I was really sheltered growing up, in a really typical Asian old-fashioned family. So after I broke up with him, I realized there's this whole world out there. I had primarily Asian friends, but after I broke off with him, I opened my mind to other possibilities, to, meet other people from all around the world and trying different types of food and just making sure that I don't allow anyone to tell me what to do, what to wear, how I should act, because that's where I was stuck when I was younger. So that was kind of my aha moment. And I was single for almost a decade after that. And I learned and seen so much. And of course, along the way, I made a lot of mistakes, but I learned from those as well. So that was kind of my aha moment.
Thanks for sharing that. And I love how you mentioned, breaking up with your boyfriend was like the best decision you ever made, because there's so many women out there who feel like once they break up with that certain someone, it's like the end of the world, right?
Right.
And there's nothing else left there. I mean, I've been through it.
Right.
Going through a breakup thinking, oh, there's no other boy out there for me. But, it helps you open up to other doors, like you mentioned, traveling, meeting new people, doing different things, eating different foods. I mean, I love to, I'm a big foodie. So it's like for me, trying different cuisines, it's like, so, for me, it's fun. And,
Right.
So many people out there are focusing on the wrong things, not realizing there's so much right out there that they can focus on and start living life to their dreams, to their design. So, I'm glad you were able to see that even at such a young age at 20, right? I think at your age when I broke up with my boyfriend, I was probably like crying and watching chick flicks all day long.
Yeah.
Eating ice cream.
It was more of like a freeing moment. I remember when we broke up, one of the first things I did, which was like none of my friends did at the time, I took bartending classes, and that kind of shaped a good decade of my life. That's how I was able to travel and met so many different types of people and just had fun while I was doing it.
Awesome. And I'm glad you're able to do that. And because of that aha moment, what's your life been like now?
Well, according to others, I'm really outspoken and I know exactly what I want, which is very different from the girl that I was years ago. I'm not afraid to ask for what I want or ask questions if I'm not sure about something. And it's not that I'm fearless, but I don't let the fear in me take me over. When I first started my businesses, I had lots of fears. I put all of my blood, sweat, and tears and money into it. And to this day, I still have moments where I'm like, what if it's not going to work, But you have to learn how to put that aside and control that fear and just never give up and keep on pushing. So it's my sense of independency that I'm like, I can't give up. So after discovering my aha moment, my frame of thought is always, you have yourself. Don't give up on yourself. Don't depend on other people. So that's what my life is like right now. I'm very on the go and doing multiple things and making sure that I don't talk myself out of any opportunity because of fear.
I love it. And, that's the greatest thing, right? Everyone gets scared. But
Yeah.
It's just feeling the fear and doing it anyway that will, take you to that other side of the road, or, where the grass is greener. Everyone has to go through that hurdle. And I think the more, stories we hear of, amazing women just going out there doing their thing, even if they're scared, that's how we can inspire others. So like you doing your own thing, I mean, think of how many people you could inspire because they can relate where you've been through. So, I'm glad you're able to share your story. And Christina, to the woman who's listening to your story, she may be in a similar situation. What would be your one tip you would give to her regarding her journey to self-confidence?
The biggest thing I think, and I'll say it again, is don't worry too much about what others are thinking about you or what you're doing. Don't focus on competing with your fellow females. Don't focus on what are they doing. I need to do what they're doing. I need to compete with them. Focus on yourself. And again, never give up. I found that in business, because I've learned a lot also. I made a lot of mistakes in, opening Organic Shimmer, but I learned from them and I, turned that mistake into something that I turn into success, hopefully. But what I learned is when I was wasting my time and energy trying to figure out what other people in the industry are doing, I couldn't focus all of my positive energy into bettering my business and expanding it. So what I've learned over the years is don't worry too much about what other people are doing. Make sure I'm always at the top of my game and just focus that and, use that energy to focus on expanding the business, bettering the business, and being a positive mentor for my staff. If us women just take out that competitive nature with one another, we could do so much in the world.
I love it. And I totally agree. I always believe as women, we should lift each other up instead of competing with each other. Yeah. And I know as Asian women, we're so guilty of doing the comparing game, right?
Yeah.
So I know it's not as easy as it sounds, but it can be done. So great tips. And Christina, if our listeners want to get to know a little bit more about you and your salons, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
Yeah, if you want to go check out my company's website, it's www.organicshimmer.com. There's all kinds of information in there about the company, about our products. And also there's information on there. If you ever want to get in touch with me, you can always shoot us an email through that website.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with Christina, you can also head on over to thetaoofselfconfidence.com and search for Christina's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And I just want to thank Christina for taking the time to share her story with us and tips on self-confidence. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
It was an honor to have you on. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence. And we'll talk to you later. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of The Tao of Self-Confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com to check out cool resources, blog articles, show recaps, and so much more. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits.